Well, hey there. Are you on the hot seat? Now, I had flames as a border, and I'm a little disappointed because for some reason they disappeared. But I don't care. This is a hot pillow. It represents a it's red, hot seat pillow. Question today, are you on the hot seat? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where did it come from? And how might you be able to apply it to your life and your business right now, no matter what's going on in your personal experience? On the hot seat, of course, comes from the days of the electric chair. The hot seat was referred to as the electric chair when people were actually put in the hot seat and expired due to a difficult situation they had gotten themselves into, generally because of a crime or some thing that they had done wrong. And that expression has transitioned to mean anybody that's in a difficult situation. If you're being questioned or if you're subject to questioning, difficult questions or personal attacks, you often feel like you're in the hot seat. Now, most of us have been in the hot seat on a number of occasions in a lot of different types of situations throughout our lives. If you're a business owner, you've been in the hot seat before. This COVID-19 virus is not anything 100% new for you. You've experienced pieces and parts of it in your past before, and you've overcome them. So guess what? You can overcome and deal with no matter what the world or the universe dishes out to you. You can figure this out, and you can get off the hot seat with respect to your business. Oftentimes, I remember in corporate America feeling like I was on the hot seat when I would have to go have my annual performance review, right? Or when I got called into my boss's office to explain something that I had done. I tended to be in corporate America a rule breaker, if you can imagine that. A rule bender for sure. I learned early on in my career it was better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission, because I worked in some really, really large global companies, and to get anything done was like a monumental event. It took months and months and sometimes years. And I had grown up in small entrepreneurial businesses where you could make decisions and get things done really, really fast and test things. And in giant corporations, it was like, moving a mountain to get a paperclip sometimes. And I learned that it was easier to break some rules and get the results that we wanted and then explain what and why and how we done it than it was to ask for permission and wait for months to get the go-ahead to do anything. Because by the time we got the go-ahead, the opportunity was usually past, right? So I spent a little time in the hot seat in my corporate career doing performance reviews. I always tried to make it so that the people I was giving performance reviews to never felt like they were in the hot seat, but I'm sure some did. Think of going to interviews. Have you ever gone to a job interview, a sports team interview, a contest interview, or anything? Interviews tend to make you feel like you're on the hot seat because people are asking you questions. Generally, they're not personally attacking you. That's saved for the courtroom and hearings and grievance hearings and inquiries and politics, right? So some of those, I've been involved in very few of those, thankfully, but I have been involved in a few of them, and it definitely feels like a hot seat. Even when you know that you have a strong position and you're right, even in court, it can go anyway. You never know how it's going to go. And so that's kind of nerve-wracking and stressful. So a lot of us are feeling in our lives and our businesses that we are personally and professionally on the hot seat right now. Depending on what your situation was and is, you will be feeling various degrees of stress and hot seatness based on what's going on in the world around you. And that right now is a global pandemic. I can't believe I'm even saying that we're having a global pandemic, but we are. And we all go through a plethora of experiences and feelings based on what's going on around us. But at some point, we have to decide and choose, what are we going to do about it? So if you're feeling like you're on the hot seat, it's time to take a deep breath. I guess if it's cold outside like it is for me, a lot of times I shimmy in and I enjoy that warm hot seat. I will admit, I buy all my vehicles now. I live in Wisconsin based on if it's got heated seats or not. Once heated seats came out, if I can't get heated seats, it's an absolute deal breaker. Every vehicle, and most vehicles I get in nowadays or even ride in, have to have heated seats because I hate being cold, and that just goes back to the whole freezing experience that I had to go through. So what can you do? The most important thing to do is always check in with how you're doing and how you're feeling, and instead of focusing on the problems, focus on the solutions. Right now, the root cause of a lot of problems we can say is the COVID-19 pandemic, and in some situations it is, but there is still always something that we can do. We always have the ability to do something to make progress, move us forward, to gain momentum, no matter what's going on. Even if my business is 100% shut down right now, there are still things I can do. I can still contact my customers. I can still check in with them. If I don't know how to do that, that's my first problem to solve. I look for the solution. How do I get in touch with my customers? And then we want to make sure that we put something going forward for the future that we can always get in touch with our customers, right? So there's always something we can do, even when we think there isn't something that we can do. So the first thing we have to do is assess where we are, determine what we want, figure out what is the next step that you can take to get you there. It can be as simple as that. And then guess what? Take that step. Don't just figure it out and then go watch Netflix. Figure out what that next step is and then take a move toward that next step, or take that next step. Make that next step happen. And then the one after that will appear. And before you know it, the pandemic will have gone by and we will be back to operating, hopefully, and I guarantee you'll need to be operating differently as things open up and free up than you were in the past. The companies and the businesses that are still running, they're all operating differently than they have in the past. And this is not going to go away. It's the way we're going to operate and behave in the future. So you might as well start preparing now, no matter what your situation is. Ask yourself what else is possible and then go and make it happen. If I can help you in any way with your business or with your situation, just ask me in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. Where does it come from and how might you be able to apply it to your life right now? That's it. Have an awesome day.